What are the benefits of seller financing? So many homeowners right now are locked into low interest rates in the twos and the threes and the fours. And if you go on the market as a buyer, you're looking for interest rates in the sixes and perhaps the sevens right now. Somewhere there's an opportunity for a buyer and a seller to come together in a seller finance deal. For a buyer, it gives you the opportunity to have potentially a lower interest rate and a lower payment on the house that you want to buy, which may even allow you to buy the house that you would love to buy rather than maybe the one you could qualify for on the open market with traditional lending. It also gives you a chance to refinance out of that seller financing opportunity into a conventional or traditional loan down the road as value goes up or as rates go down. It also gives you the opportunity to have less cash out of pocket. What I mean by that is with seller financing, there aren't traditional loan costs like origination fees and things like that. So you might be able to save thousands of dollars by doing a seller finance deal rather than a traditional loan. You can put that money towards the loan. Maybe you need it for some upgrades or some inspection repairs, things like that. Also to keep in mind, there's no mortgage insurance with seller finance deals. And so you might be able to lower your payment that way if you have less than 20% down with the seller finance deal. Now, what about for sellers? Why is it a benefit to sellers? For sellers right now, you may or may not want to sell your property. If you're not doing a 1031 tax deferred exchange into another property as an investor, or maybe you haven't lived in your home for 2 of the last 5 years and so you don't qualify for the capital gain exemption, seller financing potentially gives you the opportunity to break up the tax consequence of selling your home over the course of a number of years. We'll talk about that more in a second here. You also might be able to enjoy some cash flow on a month-to-month basis. As a seller finance opportunity, you get a down payment from the seller or from the buyer. You don't give the buyer cash for the house, you extend credit to them. So you have the down payment and then you get a monthly payment from that buyer, which then covers your mortgage and then potentially a little bit more on the side as cash flow. You also get to use the house as collateral. So if the buyer ever defaults on that seller finance note, the house is collateral, you keep the house. Now, as far as deferring taxes go, every time you receive a down payment or a monthly payment from your buyer, a portion of that is considered return of principal, a portion of that is considered capital gain. And so you can work with your tax professional to figure out what are the best terms for me as a seller in a seller finance opportunity to stretch these taxes out on this house over the course of a number of years. If you have questions about seller financing, either from the buyer side or the seller side, reach out to me. I'm Rychen Jones, your wealth creating realtor. This is Wealthy Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.